𝗪𝗏𝗃𝗃 and 𝗏𝗏𝘀𝗀 can pull off an upset in the final round, and that would mean that this match carries huge weight. Winner of it would then take on the Chambers brothers in a 6-red shootout.
Things won't come easy for them tonight. Here's another one. That good break from Karl, and ball's flying in. You're thinking it's going to be an easy chance, but the red and yellow together, bottom right, make this very difficult. I suppose you could play, you could go yellows here, take the yellow top left and leave the yellow in the middle of the table to play off the cushion off the red. They saw it a different way. Excellent shot from Shaun, but the reward has not been good. I am really surprised they went that way. I mean, obviously they're out there, they can see it, but for me it just felt like the one that they played there, that was a great ball to play off the red. And they had the perfect angle to drop the one in top left to leave it, so everything would have been in their eye line, and you'd really fancy it would have been Karl Sutton playing the shot to pull that off, and then everything's clean. And the reason I thought it was better for them was simply because you're keeping much better control of the cue ball. Flying the cue ball into that area, it could have really come out so much better for them, and we'd be raving about a great shot, but obviously there was always a little bit of a risk that you weren't going to land on anything. This red on the left-hand side is not that easy to land on, especially being quite thin here. Do you use the yellow and hold for it in the center, or try and find the narrow line? Tried to hold on it, and that's not worked.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he did try and hold on it or not, or whether he was trying to avoid it. I think he must have been holding, because otherwise why would you play it that way? I felt like the natural line wouldn't have been too far away if you get the pace right. Anyway, they've ended up in a world of trouble.
Yeah, Lee was lining something or other up. Oh, they've not, have they? They've not, have they? Oh my God. Wow. Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield, like Easter Island statues in the top right corner of your shot there. They didn't twitch a nerve sat in those seats. They still haven't. They're frozen.
Yeah, I've no idea how that's gone in there, and I've no idea whether he was trying to put it in there either. It looks like just an out-and-out hit and hope fluke, but let's give him some credit. Maybe he was trying to get it into that part of the table, but very difficult to tell.
I mean, that's an incredible shot. I don't think I saw the staple hand of apology from Lee Hammersley. I might have just missed it.
If he's played that, it's outrageously good.
What it is also 1-0.
Yeah, ultimately it doesn't matter, does it? It's frame on the board.
Oh, that's a perfect break. Lovely control of the cue ball, plenty of power, horrible split.
Not for the first time tonight. He's just got that cue ball bouncing off the pack. And it's definitely taking power out. He's not getting the power through the pack. It's just catching the pack. When you're hitting breaks, you are queuing down on the ball, and you have to see it in the super slow-mo to really see it, but the ball doesn't glide down on the bed of the table. It does bounce, and if you catch it on a hop, it just takes all the pace out, and you can see that by the way the cue ball bounces back up in that fashion.
Played a really good first shot there, Zac Cooper, and he's still fighting here. He thinks he can get out. That's a nice shot.
Still going to be tough to get out here. I think if he goes bottom left, if he can slide across, it depends how much room there is. He's got to decide which way round of the 8-ball to play, basically. But if he can play the one bottom left now and then slide across, if he can land on either of those two yellows, one way or the other, he should be able to get back onto the other yellow that's down there. So he doesn't need to move anything. That's okay. That's really, really nice. Wouldn't pick up with his hand and put it any better than that. Only thing is that you are now leaving, and can you then reconnect back to the one that you're going to leave?
I think so. Little follow through here, and he's got the yellow to bottom left, swing it around.
Yeah, I would suggest not going too far across. You can't get straight because then you can't get onto that ball. But if you leave it 3/4 ball like he was just looking, you can slide back through another gap.
Yeah, short little follow, and then you've got a shot.
Again, it's the same thing. You want to come underneath the red, or if you risk the gap, you can end up on nothing if you flick it at all. So yeah, I think he has to come underneath it.
I think underneath gives him a lot of margin.
I would suggest if the yellow goes top right, I'd play into the red, to be honest with you. And it does, but it's not a full pocket, so that's an excellent shot.
That's, once again, cue ball in hand, perfect, really.
A couple of really, really lovely touches in this visit.
It's been a great frame from Zac Cooper. It's just about getting the job done, and he is dead straight on this 8 ball. What a lovely, lovely visit to the table from Zac Cooper. That finish did not look remotely on when he first came to the table, but that was some finish. Let's have a little look again at the shot that took us into frame 2, though, because this was extraordinary. That's safe to say, yeah, I don't think he was quite playing on that.
But what was he playing?
It's a good question.
That's the. I honestly, if he tells me he's played it, I'm all happy enough to accept it. Because I really have no idea. I'm assuming he didn't, because it looks like an out-and-out fluke. But I don't want to do him a disservice because it's an absolutely outrageous shot.
So Shaun Chipperfield to the table, needing a quick finish, which is usually good news.
Yeah, just got to get nicely on the red in the top half of the table. That's lovely, I think. Is he just enough to get past the red? If he is, he can just go left, centre and top through. It looks perfect, but maybe he's a quarter roll short. The fact he's not playing it already.
He's having a good look at this.
He can't be on that ball. Looks like it from the overhead, but I need to see it from the main camera to be able to tell. Well, when he's not stood in the way. Oh, look at that. He's half a ball short. Oh, no, he can't get through. Being fooled. He was just more angle on it than he wanted, so that he was going away and bringing the yellows into play to not be on the red, which is what's happened. And if he was half a ball further across, it would have just been natural because the cue ball would have gone up the middle of the table. It would have made things so much easier. He was half a ball out of perfection.
Still always a surprise to see a wide like that from Shaun Chipperfield.
It was almost I know he plays quickly anyway, and he gives you the air of a man that, you know, is almost a little bit rash because he plays so quickly. But it felt like the shoulders had slumped and that he'd almost given up. He hasn't, but that's the sense he gave.
He will, however, get a second go in this frame. Not the best of shots Lee Hammersley's ever played. That's a lovely, lovely shot from Shaun Chipperfield. Shows you how good he's feeling, really, because the shot prior to that was awful by his standards, but then that shot was excellent.
Yeah, I think he's just very frustrated with how tonight's gone.
2-1. Still plenty of time to arrest the situation. It may not be enough for them to topple the Chambers brothers, but still enjoying their evening at least, which is, lest we forget, sort of the whole point of the Pairs Cup. It is, first and foremost, it's have fun.
I'll let you tell them that.
And then, when you're at a certain level, it's about winning. I think for those two, it's definitely flipped with the run they've been on. But good to see they're able to enjoy themselves out there still.
I think, as I said before this match started, I think the disappointment for them comes down to the fact that they've had the opportunities tonight and they haven't taken them. There are nights, and albeit they not happen to them in the pairs that often, but there are nights where you just don't feel like you get the opportunities you need. They have tonight.
Eight ball is so close. Oh, goodness me, another near miss.
So many tonight.
Potted a red. It's got to be a safety next, you would imagine. Yeah, just played one to play a safety. This is the frame that they, as leaders currently in this match, have absolutely zero desire to get involved with from the gun.
Yeah, play the match. Make your opponents make the low percentage attempt. This is where it really, timed matches really does change the dynamics of the game, because 2-1 up in this situation, you play it differently than if you're 2-1 down.
Yeah, that'd be a foul from Karl. Couldn't sneak behind the reds. So cue ball in hand for Zac and Lee.
This is where you've got to be strong and not be tempted. Got to be strong and not be tempted here, because it's still a super low percentage finish. Too many problems to solve. They're going to open up all but one yellow here in one shot. And then they missed a shot. To me, just keep playing the game. I just don't see the... I mean, where are you going after that? I just don't see that at all. You're going to pop that one, then you're two straight on the one to the centre. You've got two balls tied up with a yellow and no way of opening them up. I'm not seeing that as a choice at all.
The worst possible news is they've opened absolutely everything up on yellows.
Yeah, they've just gifted an opportunity that shouldn't have been there. You should have been saying to Shaun and Karl,
with cue ball in their own hand.
With a cue ball in their own hand, they should have been saying to Karl, put another ball in the mix, make it worse. Say to them, go and take out a finish, go and do something special. Don't just gift them an opportunity like this. You do see this sort of thing quite a lot. You come to the table, you look at it, it's a terrible layout. You know, well, I don't want anything to do with this. I let my opponent have a go, and you manage to put them in a snooker and you get your ball in hand, and you feel forced to take something on, but there was still absolutely nothing to take on. You just really need to be patient in that situation and stay the course. Could you lay another snooker whilst developing a bad ball? Could you put another ball in the mix and really slow it down? There's plenty of things you can look at there. Being aggressive, for me, not even remotely one of them. And it has cost them the frame, and there's still time in this match.
I don't mean to harp on, but that really was just, in a match play sense, a really, really poor decision.
Even if Lee makes that shot, I don't see them getting out. They've got to make a super low percentage finish, and to me, 2-1 up, I get it. You know, 2-1 down with a few minutes to play, absolutely. You know, chase. But 2-1 up, I know there was 8 minutes to play at that point, but 2-1 up, you try and force your opponents to do something special.
And having them got themselves right back into it at 2-2. Shaun Chipperfield scratches the break. And straighten off as well. This is a finish you can justify going for. Although that has actually weirdly made that yellow more difficult.
Yeah, difference here being it's 2-2, so what's the right decision for just natural, normal play? Is it to continue to chase? Is it to pull back? Can you gain a better opportunity by pulling back? This is still just about doable because the yellow would have gone off yellow into left center. The problem is that he's tied up the 8-ball. So there's two things to solve, and you're not nice on the next ball. Came off the wrong yellow. Trying to get off the yellow nearest the left center.
Not exactly what you'd call a great chance, but Shaun Chipperfield needs to find a way here. 15-second shot clock, not loads of time to think about it.
Just slamming a plant like it's nothing. Big gap between those two balls.
Yeah, wasn't
Still
guaranteed, was it?
No, still a terrible layout though on reds. It looks like Shaun's in full aggression mode. This is why he's so clever, to try and figure out balls to do the developing. Trying to come across here. This goes in the center, and now he's going to screw into the problem. Different layout now. That 8-ball is not in a bad spot for a double, or does it go left center off the yellows, or even get on it into the corner? He's got options on it. He's done some really good work so far. That's a beautiful shot to go up the table. So you really want to leave the one into the center pocket to get on the 8-ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was all started by that absolutely rock star plant that he played when he first came to the table. I mean, this is some stuff from Shaun Chipperfield. What an out. Oh, woof. That's as good an out as we've seen all night, to be honest with you.
100%. Yeah, that was brilliant. Out of the night. And that's why we rave about Shaun, because there's nothing he did. He didn't throw his arm at anything there. Everything he did there was calculated. The plant was brilliant. The second shot to come across the table to leave the angle, when you first come to the table, that isn't obvious that that's the ball and that's how you're going to play it to do with the developing. I'm looking at the table thinking, how do you find an angle? And he finds it, but he plays it with such beautiful control. He didn't want to fly into the 8-ball and his ball. He just wanted to nudge his ball down. That was as a clinical a finish as you'll see, picking it apart a very, very tough layout.
Yeah, it was completely calculated the whole way. He had a plan and just executed it to perfection. That was such high tariff stuff from Shaun Chipperfield. Karl Sutton is going to get the opportunity here to complete the job from 2-0 down to run 4 straight and just ask the question of John and Rob Chambers. Oh, by the way, just for an extra gold star, if you like, he did do that on a 15-second shot clock, Shaun Chipperfield, which is easy to forget when you're watching him.
Yeah, 15 seconds is nothing when you play as quickly as Shaun does. But it is a factor, even for someone like Shaun. It's one thing to play it quickly, but it's another thing to have to play quickly and be forced to do it. This layout is beautiful on the back of it, and we'll keep harping on about it. But that decision at 2-1 up to take on a very, very low percentage finish is killed them in this match. They've just let the former champions off the hook, and they've been released. And well, Karl Sutton's in perfect shape here to make sure they're the pair that will take advantage from the Chambers brothers not doing what they need to do in the final match.
90 seconds to go then in this match. Karl Sutton can just get the job done himself, but it's nice to know that he's basically done the job already here. Excellent visit to serve from Karl here as well. Solid all the way through. Well, 2-0 down, you'd have thought these two were in real trouble. But that was a really classy response from Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield a champion's response really to end their evening, or have they? Because if Tom Church and 𝗏𝗏𝗃 can find a result, those two might yet be back out there for a 6-red shootout in the Pairs Cup. Final match of the night coming up, and John Chambers and Rob Chambers can qualify when we return.